ladies and gentlemen, Batman is back. I have in front of you here Batman's number 86, 87, 88, and 89. Issue 86 is where James Tynion IV took over for Tom King. I know that Tom King's Batman was a little bit polarizing, a little bit different. We're not going to really get into that, but we are going to get into Tynion IV's Batman, because I have to say, since issue 86, this is definitely the best series going right now. Batman has changed. He is no longer the same Bruce Wayne or Batman that he was in the series prior to issue 86. And it's a very distinct difference in his personality. And I think that there's actually a bridge that Tynion also wrote that I think a lot of people missed. And I'll just throw that here for you to see right there. It's called Batman Pennyworth R.I.P. number 1. This is a one-shot. It was by Tynion IV. Kind of funny. At first, when I looked at his name, I thought his name was Tynion IV. But hey, we're not perfect, are we? He's Tynion IV. In Batman Pennyworth, we know that Alfred has died. Bane killed him. And Bruce Wayne is in a deep, deep, deep depression afterwards. Alfred was his go-to guy. He was the man in his ear telling him where to go, what to do, when he was going to be in trouble, all of that sort of thing. Now, what this book does is it brings the whole sort of Bat family together, like Batgirl and Nightwing and various Robins, and they all sort of come in to talk about their memories about Alfred. It was something that Alfred had put in his will that he had hoped would happen. Now, I think that throughout the course of listening to these people's stories, and then when you get to the end, you really sort of start to see that dark, brooding Bruce Wayne Batman that most of us know and love. So I think that this book acted as sort of like a, just a bridge between Tom King and Tynion. Now, this did come out after about 3 of the Batman books did, but nevertheless, I think it's a good pickup if you're wanting to sort of, like I said, bridge that gap between between Tom King and James Tynion IV. So we'll get that out of the way. Now, Batman is, I will admit, my favorite superhero of all time. So he is one guy that when I buy the comics, I actually buy the variants. Now, variants are really not something that I'm into at all, but look at these. Look at these beautiful covers. And it's Batman. So I make an exception for Batman. So, new story, completely new story arc, everything's anew from here. So, we start off with Batman sort of flying through the night. The name of the arc here is Their Dark Designs Part 1. I'll give you the credits here. James Tynion IV as the writer, Tony S. Daniel pencils, Danny Mickey ink, Tomo More colors, Clayton Cole's letters. Cover by, variant cover by Francesco Mattina. So, Their Dark Designs Part 1. And you can already see that the art in this book is absolutely awesome. It's got that dark Batman tone to it. So we're flipping around here, and there appears to be you know, this guy here who you think that that's the Joker, but we haven't really met up with the Joker yet. So what is happening is a whole bunch of villains are sort of getting together in their own getting together to, you know, hatch a plan to get Batman. Now, this guy right here, we're gonna meet him a little later on. He does some extremely strange things, and that's okay. But we'll get to that when we come to it. Now, here we have, of course, you know, it's Bruce Wayne. He's got to be at some sort of ball. That's just the way it works. But the story that's going on here is after the whole City of Bane stuff. Gotham City needs to be rebuilt. Bruce Wayne, of course, wants to be the benefactor behind that. He has a plan, he has a design that he wants to put forward. It's kind of debated, but by some other people who should get to make these decisions, but nevertheless. Just a quick caveat. So I understand that this is for young audience. It says so on here. This is a young adult Batman version, but like, I'm sorry, but this is a ridiculous looking Batman. Anyway, back to the story. So Batman is on his way because I'll read it to you. He says, "Not yet. You're there." Well, he's talking to Catwoman, who is at the ball. I should have said that. I apologize. Catwoman / Batwoman's girlfriend is at this ball trying to ascertain information. She hasn't found out anything yet. Batman says, "You're there again, aren't you? The hospital site. I can hear the rain through your cowl. I know you miss him." She's talking to Batman. And he says, well, I think the mayor is going to have a heart attack if another 20-year-old billionaire asks who he is. This is the money that will shape Gotham's future. We need them to start investing it now. And so that sort of gives you the idea that that's where Bruce Wayne is in this so far. Now, obviously, Alfred is gone, so there is no more Alfred. So he has had his place taken by Lucius, who is going to act as Alfred going forward, it would appear. Now, can I just say, I love the brooding Batman. I love the art there. I don't want to talk about too much here, but obviously here you see Deathstroke. So Deathstroke is going on a rampage, and it appears as though it's more of a distraction than anything else. Eventually Batman does catch up to him, and then Catwoman makes the comment that, you know, dear, you might actually pull this off if you didn't look like dreadfully nervous all evening. I guess she's talking to this guy here. Anyway, story isn't progressing too much yet. It's more just about a whole bunch of amazing art here. Now, something has happened. When Catwoman was talking to this guy, something was released in his body, this gas, something along those lines. They don't know what to do with it. And take a look at this. Is that something or is that something? Batman says, Alfred sent a priority signal to the GCPD. Tell them to prepare the cells in the black block. Now, this is obviously Batman. Bruce is forgotten or temporarily not remembering that Alfred isn't around, and that it's Lucius that's going to help him with all of that stuff. Now, we'll keep flipping around to here. Nothing too crazy happening here. Now, we get into the epilogue of this episode where we start to see the Joker minions, so we sort of start to get the idea that the Joker might be involved with some of what's going on. And that's not surprising considering he's the main Batman villain ever. And at the end here, we get more Joker lookalikes doing some serious damage to an amusement park, and that is the end of that issue, the first issue under Tynion IV. Very good start. I mean, nothing tremendous happened, just a fight with Deathstroke. Not that that's not anything serious, but it's just a great solid start. I don't want to spoil how the story goes for you. I just want everybody to know just how good this stuff is. So we'll put that guy aside, bring out number 87. We'll take a look at the unbelievable variant cover here with Batman and Catwoman. Now, where this one starts here is where Catwoman has a little bit of a secret, but oh yeah, we haven't got there yet. So, the Riddler is also involved, the Penguin is involved. They all kind of seem like they're afraid of the Riddler, like he's sort of coming back to life, getting himself back into good villain shape, using technology for his terror, hatching plans. He does seem to be one who is going to be hatching a lot of the plans, but this is really a story that involves all of the Batman villains. The Riddler says it's not the labyrinth you want, it's the destination, of course. He's the Riddler. He's never going to tell you exactly what he means. So we're at Their Dark Designs Part 2. Here we have the Penguin and the Riddler having their discussions about their plan. I'm not going to go into the plan too much other than to say that, you know, they are trying to do some bad stuff. And here you can see that Deathstroke and some of the other villains have been apprehended by Batman, or with Batman's help, because, you know, that's what Batman does. Flip the page here, it's more Batman and Catwoman. This time Catwoman is still with this guy who died with all of this stuff that came out of his face. She comments that that's one you can keep yourself, darling. It's nearly done. So she knows that this guy's about to die. They don't know why that this guy is about to die. It's just kind of a mystery. This whole time you can sort of start to see that Catwoman is starting to feel bad about things. It almost seems like she's keeping a secret. She makes the comment, 5 assassins and a play for the Wayne rebuild. Bruce responds, yes. You've been on this case for a week. Do you have a sense of who's moving against you, what they're planning? And he doesn't know. So basically what's happening is Bruce wants his plan for the new Gotham. He's got the money to do it, and he wants to help, but there are others who are wanting to subvert his plan and be the ones who have the plan for Gotham. And we don't know exactly who those people are. We just know that they're sort of, you know, working for the bad guys. Because, you know, they gotta keep us in the dark a little bit here. Gotta love some of this art in here. It's absolutely fantastic. Got to love it. Now, Batman is not a happy guy as usual. And he goes to the prison and he wants Chester's cell open so he can talk to him. And he says, put out an all-points bulletin for Jade Wynn, the assassin known as Cheshire. They're going to be bodies tonight if we don't act fast. So Batman knows trouble is on its way, as usual for Batman. But I just gonna comment again, I love the darkness of all of this. I love the way that Lucius has stepped in and is acting in the Alfred role. I think it's great. More action sequences here. Nothing major to talk about, just, Batman action. Like I said, I'm not giving you away the spoilers on this series. It's way too good for that. You gotta go and buy them yourselves and read them. You don't have to buy the variant covers that are more expensive like me, but I would go ahead and buy them. So here we find Batman in a compromising position, and she's saying to him, your heart should stop any second now if you have any last words. Now, she's about to kiss him. Now, we saw what happened to the last person that she kissed. Green smoke started piling out of his face, and he died. So, she kisses him, but hey, this is Batman. This is Mr. Anti-Shark Spray himself. So, Batman had something on his lips to protect him from the kiss that would mess him up. And then, of course, she gets run over by a semi. That makes that real easy, doesn't it? Now, when we flip the page here, we're just talking about more action, more to do with the Gotham rebuild and stuff like that. Gonna flip more, and at the very end of this issue, we have the Penguin. And we know that the Penguin is involved. We've seen him talking to the Riddler, but what does he say? But I'm afraid that gives me the advantage. So let's go back here for a second. What did we miss? So we'll start here where he says, you want to know why you get to live, Commissioner? It's because of what they've got in store for you. That's a whole different part of the design. Just wait and see. Now, Mr. Wilson, I'm afraid these doors aren't opening for you. You and your employer have stolen from me, or still have stolen my plans. I admire that they've been kept down to the second. But I'm afraid that gives me the advantage. What a wonderful picture drawing of the Joker here. And that's the end of that issue. We'll move along to number 88 here, because we're already starting to get pretty long in the tooth on this video. Now, Catwoman is still hiding her secret from Batman at this point, that she had made some sort of deal. Now, we don't know yet what that deal is, but we will be finding out shortly. So, we have another scene here with the Riddler. This time the Riddler's talking to Catwoman. And what he's saying to her is basically, he's reminding her that although she is now with Batman, that she had made a deal, she had made promises, that she has responsibilities. He says, riddle me this, Catwoman. Do you or your boyfriend know where the Joker is? So he's playing mind games with her, and at the same time playing mind games with Batman. Now, this is, you would think, the Joker. We'll find out later that that's not actually the Joker. This is a decoy to throw things off. Now, Batman makes the arrest, takes her in there. Nothing exciting here, nothing too amazing. We have more of a conversation between the Riddler and Catwoman. He makes the comment to her, don't bother calling back. This line is effectively dead. I'd wish you luck, but I don't really want good things to happen. to you, so let's leave it at farewell. So basically, it seems as though the Riddler is on to the fact that Catwoman may not quite be on their side anymore. We have here, this is the scene where they find this Joker body. It's not the Joker. It looks like the Joker, but it isn't. And then we move over to the next page here, and we've got some guys hanging upside down here. But hey, what can you do? The Penguin comes in and he says, "My new favorite feature of that delightful new holding cell is one that rapidly removes all the oxygen from the room. You all went down pretty quick. The officers who I paid off to let me in the building helped you in the van, and I brought you here. I believe Mr. Freeze used it as a base for a while, but it keeps meat from going rancid, and it allows me to keep my friends in comfort in trying times." Alright. Flip the page, so now they're starting to get the villains out of their captivity. So Batman's obviously not going to like any of that too much. But you gotta I love these drawings of Batman. Lucius makes a comment to him. He says, "You realize that the car has none of the..." Okay, I should say. Batman needs a car. He doesn't have a car. So Lucius tells him that he has something in his belt that he can attach to a certain car, and it'll basically turn it into a Batmobile. What he doesn't tell him initially is that it's actually Lucius's car. He says, "You realize the car has none of the armor of a usual Batmobile," and Batman's response is, "Bill me." I thought that was pretty funny. Now, here we are with the character again. I don't believe that they've actually named him in the books yet. We'll get there, because I know in the next issue they do mention his name, but Batman is fighting like he usually does, winning like, not there he's not, but it's Batman. He's gonna end up coming out on top. The Penguin says, "You're the detective, you tell me you wouldn't dare, you wouldn't," in response to Batman's query of what's the point of all of this. And what it really is that they're trying to confuse Batman. And they're doing a good job to this point in time. And then right here, he says, he's got the Penguin down, he says, "Quiet, Penguin, you'll bleed out. I can cauterize with a laser." The Penguin doesn't like gadgets. He says, "The four of us, me, Riddler, Joker, Catwoman, the Underworld united, we did this years ago. The design is real. He is in Gotham City. He was the one true target." And then Joker says it's Bruce Wayne is the target. So it almost seems as though the big villains here are hatching a plan against Bruce Wayne and not Batman. Batman's just inconveniently in their way. Of course, Catwoman will eventually let him in on this because it's, his girlfriend. So more stuff here, nothing too crazy. Just flip through there. And then this is the preview for the next issue that features Harley Quinn. And Harley is saying, "You don't even want to know how deep this goes. It's enough to drive you nuts." And Catwoman, just another fantastic drawing there of Harley and Catwoman. And we've got some previews of a different comic. And finally we get to the star of the show at the 25-minute and 20-second mark. This is Batman 89. Batman 89 came out yesterday, February the 19th, I believe. When I went to pick this up, when I went to the section where I would find Batman, and there was none. And I was a little bit perturbed, but I thought, hey, you know, there'll be one in my pull box, nothing to worry about. So I went and asked for the stuff in my pull box yesterday, and there was no Batman. So I asked the guy working at the comics shop, I said, where's Batman 89? And his response to me was, unfortunately, we had to pull them all off the shelves because they're going to cost $30. Now, when I heard this, tiny little rabbit turd, I think, might have squeaked out of my rectum. I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually. But apparently, they were just holding them all aside so that nobody would come and grab them all, because there is a first appearance of a new character, apparently, in this comic. And, of course, you know what that means in the comic industry. Everybody's going to be after that issue. So when I did go and ask the guy why it wasn't in my pull box, he said, oh, I'm sorry. And he went and grabbed it. And I said, so how much is this guy going to cost me? And he said, well, you buy Batman every month. It's going to cost you $4.99. And that made me very happy, because there's no way I was going to pay $30 for this, and I need to know what happens in this storyline. So we'll start it open it up here. Nothing amazing here happening. They're just at the hospital. People in the hospital are talking about what should go on with Bruce Wayne's idea to fix Gotham. The Penguin is still injured and still running around without getting treatment. It's actually kind of hilarious. And then we get into this part here where we have Gunsmith. Now, I'm going to say I'm not 100% sure if Gunsmith is the new character, if this is his first appearance. So I'm just going to read it to you. It says, Gunsmith, real name, Douglas Worth, a veteran of half a dozen military contractors in the Middle East, quietly fired from each for testing experimental weapons in the field without approval. Then you see Batman, and he says at the bottom, he began working as a domestic mercenary 2 years ago and graduated to contract killing. So I'm not sure if this Gunsmith character is the new character or not, or if it's the one that's coming up. But either way, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not familiar with Gunsmith, so he may be that character, he may not. Now, Batman, of course, makes very short work of Gunsmith. Beats him up pretty darn good, and Gunsmith asks him, what are you gonna do? Batman replies, there's another conspirator and I know exactly where he's hiding. So Batman is starting to become aware that there is a lot more going on here, that there's a lot of players in this game. And here next we have a scene with Harley Quinn. She's doing battle, she's using her mallet, she's good at what she does, and she comes across Catwoman. They're gonna have a little conversation here. She says, Joker's been cleaning house, I've been following the clues for a little bit. I think this is supposed to be the clue number 1 for Batman, the dead guy that she's about to kill. And Catwoman's response is, and what are you here to do about it? And then Harley responds, oh, I'm gonna kill him. And so that's I kind of gave that away already. Now, just flip forward a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to give you spoilers too much, but this is the part that I wanted to talk about. because I'm not sure if this is potentially the new character with the first appearance. Even though he has been in the previous issues, they sort of talk about who he is and what he does. Now, in the previous books, I didn't actually show any of those pages, but there's a situation where somebody is going in and killing people, removing their teeth from their mouths, and surgically opening up their stomachs and implanting the teeth in their stomachs and sewing them back up. And so this guy now wants to be known as the Tooth Eater. So I'm not sure if Tooth Eater, if this is what it has made this an expensive comic all of a sudden or not. But whatever the case may be, Batman goes in after Tooth Eater. And once he's there, this is he sort of realizes that Tooth Eater is the decoy, which brings me to the third person who might be the first appearance in this book, and that's this character here. I am not familiar with this character. It even says, have you seen him before? And the answer is no. The costume isn't pinging any of the global networks. Do you think this is who you're up against? The man who hired Deathstroke and the others? Batman says, it must be. So we don't really know too much about that guy yet. We go back into the Batcave. Batman's talking to Lucius, and he starts telling him about how he was expecting a death trap, things like that. The Riddler had been making gestures behind his back. He's all sorts of confused as to what's going on here. And I think that that's okay. Batman says he's frightened of this man, but he deliberately killed the audio feed. He's talking about the tooth guy. He didn't want me to hear what he said to him. He just wanted me to know that he went with him, whoever he is. There has to be something more in this system. Let's see what the Riddler can see, and we can't. Let's see what the Riddler can see that we can. I'm hooking Riddler's network up to the Bat computer now, giving you controls. Lucius gets Deathstroke's location out of it, and then tells him that he's going to deploy the Bat Spawn. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the Bat Spawn, but you're about to. They're these little mechanical bat things that fly around Gotham City, doing all sorts of fun stuff, doing Batman and Lucius's bidding. Flipping the page over here, we get Harley Quinn with Catwoman coming up to Batman. Harley says, "Hey Bats, where should we stick the murder people?" And he says, "In the corner with the others." Her response is, "Good call." I just thought that was kind of funny. Flipping the page here, now Catwoman is talking to Batman. Her boyfriend saying to him that she's got to tell him something. There's stuff that he doesn't know, and she's gonna let him in. Now, once again, Batman wants to know, who is this guy? And Catwoman's response is, "Damn it, he has Eddie. Penguin's still in danger. If he's alive, and Joker, if we're ready to come out of hiding." There's a whole Joker thing cooking, Harley says. Now, Batman isn't pleased, but he very much wants to know who this guy is, who is apparently hatching the plan that is going to ruin his plans for Gotham City. And Catwoman reveals to him that his name is the Designer. So I believe that brings us to the end of issue number 4 of Tynion series, where we do finally get a Joker appearance. And the Joker says, there are a few people I need to talk to first before the big game starts. So the Joker's got some plans. What else is new? Like I said, I didn't want to give away too many spoilers from these books, because I gotta tell you, I am so impressed with this new Batman series. Don't go and buy the variants for $5 each. Go get the $3.99 version. The cover isn't as pretty, but the content's exactly the same. I really think that this is a series that anybody could enjoy. I don't think that you need to even be a Batman fan. This is just a great story arc with every conceivable Batman villain that you could think of. And I think we've set a new record here for videos. We're now at 36 minutes and 22 seconds. So at this point, I will just say, go get Tynion's Batman. And please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. It all helps. Just starting out, hoping to grow this thing. If you want to see more great stuff like this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and have a nice day.